In March 2026, during the war between Iran and a coalition led by the United States and Israel, the Israeli military transferred an Iron Dome air defense battery, along with the soldiers required to operate it, to the territory of an Arab state. That state was the United Arab Emirates. It was the first such transfer in Israeli history. In the same period, the heads of Mossad, Shin Bet, and the Israeli armed forces all visited Abu Dhabi, as did Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. This is how that became possible and why no other Arab government follows. The relationship was formalized in September 2020 through the Abraham Accords. From its founding in 1971, the UAE held the standard Arab position on Israel. Within 2 years, it joined the 1973 oil embargo against the United States. It hosted the Palestinian embassy from 1989 and publicly supported Palestinian statehood for nearly 5 decades. The Accords formalized a decision both governments had reached privately, driven by 2 calculations. The first was shared threat perception. Both had concluded that the principal threat to their position came from political Islam, in both its Iranian and its Sunni forms. The second was Emirati ambition. Under Mohammed bin Zayed, the UAE set out to displace Cairo and Riyadh as the central Arab node and to become Washington's indispensable Arab partner. Partnership with Israel made both goals possible. Israel contributed military doctrine, intelligence capability, and surveillance technology. The UAE contributed sovereign capital, port infrastructure, airspace, and the diplomatic legitimacy of an Arab state. The UAE's regional strategy operates through investment, infrastructure, and proxy support rather than direct military action. In Sudan, Emirati support has sustained the rapid support forces through a civil war that, by United Nations estimates, has displaced over 12 million people. In Eritrea, Abu Dhabi built a military base at Assab to project power across the Red Sea. In Somaliland, it secured operational control of the Berbera port. The same government continues to fund humanitarian aid in Gaza and increased its contribution to the United Nations Palestinian Relief Agency when Western donors withdrew. The humanitarian role and the strategic alignment with Israel run as parallel policies. Israel's regional position since October 2023 has been built through sustained military operations against 3 of its neighbors. In Gaza, the campaign that followed the Hamas attack has, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, killed more than 72,000 Palestinians. In Lebanon, the 2024 campaign eliminated most of Hezbollah's senior leadership and depopulated villages south of the Litani River. In Syria, following the collapse of the Assad government, Israel moved beyond the established buffer zone and now operates extensively in Syrian airspace. The operating principle in each case is the dismantling of any neighboring military capability that could constrain Israeli action. The partnership became fully visible during the 2026 war. When Iran retaliated against the joint American-Israeli strikes in February, it directed a substantial portion of its response at the UAE, striking Emirati territory with more than 2,000 drones and 550 ballistic missiles, damaging oil and gas facilities and airports, and killing 10 civilians. Israel responded by transferring the Iron Dome battery and its crew to Emirati soil to defend specific high-value sites, not the country as a whole. In April 2026, the UAE left OPEC entirely. These exchanges were possible because the underlying architecture had been built over 5 years. The Emirati Sovereign Wealth Fund holds a stake in Israel's Tamar gas field. Abu Dhabi's tech conglomerate G42, chaired by the National Security Advisor, opened its first international office in Tel Aviv. Israeli and Emirati defense firms co-produce unmanned naval vessels. At any point since the Accords, the UAE could have used the leverage they gave it. It could have suspended trade as Bahrain did. It could have closed the overland route that bypasses the Red Sea to reach Israel. It could have paused the visa exemption agreement with Israel. It chose to do none of these things. Instead, it absorbed Iranian missile strikes on its own territory and hosted Israeli military hardware and leadership during an active war. Saudi Arabia, the most consequential Arab state, has openly declined to enter this architecture and keeps its channels to Tehran open. The United Arab Emirates and Israel have become the architects of a new regional disorder, operating a coordinated security and economic system outside the Arab League and outside the multilateral order. That system is operational. It has no other occupants.